Hey everyone, welcome back to Crime Pod. I'm your host Safa, and today we are diving into a case that will shake you to your core. It's about a woman, a mother, who was once hailed as a brilliant mind in the tech world, and yet, beneath the surface, she harbored something far darker. This is the case of Suchna Seth, the CEO of the Mindful AI Lab, and the tragic murder of her 4-year-old son. It's a story that will make you question how well you truly know someone, especially when that someone is supposed to protect you the most. Now, before we get started, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss any future episodes. And as always, feel free to comment your thoughts or theories below. I would love to hear from you, but now let's get into the details. The story began on January 6, 2024, when Suchna Seth, a 39-year-old woman from West Bengal, and her 4-year-old son checked into a serviced apartment in Goa. She had booked the room from January 6th to 10th, but within just a couple of days, she checked out early. This wouldn't have been unusual. Sometimes people adjust their travel plans, but what raised suspicions was that her son, who had checked in with her, was nowhere to be found when she left. At first glance, nothing seemed too out of the ordinary, but as housekeeping entered the room to prepare it for the next guest, they discovered something that would send this case spiraling into a nightmare. There were bloodstains on the towels, and the staff immediately became alarmed. Something wasn't right. The staff concerned called the police. Now you might be wondering what exactly could have happened in that room. Why was there blood? Why was her son missing? And why did Suchna leave the hotel in such a hurry? Well, as the police started investigating, they would soon uncover the chilling truth that would rock the nation. As soon as the authorities arrived, they went straight to the CCTV footage, and it showed Suchna and her son checking in. But when she checked out, there was something unusual. Her son wasn't with her. Police after this tried to get in touch with Suchna, but she wasn't answering. The hotel staff told police about the taxi that Suchna had hired. The driver, Roy John D'Souza, had picked her up at 1 a.m. on January 8. Roy was taking her in an Innova to Bengaluru. The rent for the trip was 30,000 rupees. Police called Roy D'Souza and asked him to hand the phone over to Suchna. Upon being inquired about her son, Suchna claimed that he had been sent to a relative's house and provided an address to back up her story. But police didn't believe her. She was lying. There was no friend or any relative, and the address didn't exist. And on top of that, the blood found in the room made them highly suspicious of her and concerned about the child's well-being. The Goa police had already received the tape from the hotel and had briefed their Karnataka counterparts about the situation. Roy John D'Souza was instructed to stop the vehicle near Amangala police station. When they opened the trunk of the car, what they found was horrific. The body of the child stuffed inside a suitcase, lifeless. Suchna was immediately arrested, and during the initial stages of interrogation, Suchna claimed innocence and said that when she woke up that day, she found her son already dead. She went on to tell police that after she found her son dead, she was overwhelmed by grief and tried to cut her left wrist with a sharp object, attempting to take her own life. Bloodstains found on the towel in the hotel room were supposedly the evidence of her failed suicide attempt. But was this just another lie? Or did the woman truly feel overwhelmed by the situation? So who exactly is Suchna Seth? How could a woman who was once hailed as one of the 100 brilliant women in AI ethics be capable of something so horrific? Suchna was an accomplished AI expert, the CEO of Mindful AI Lab, a consultancy that provided customized advisory services on AI ethics. She also held a director position at another company, Satvik Machine Intelligence and Technologies, a firm that uses machine intelligence to innovate new solutions. Her LinkedIn profile made it clear that she was a driven and highly intelligent woman working tirelessly to close the gender gap in tech and data sciences. She had even served as a Mozilla Open Web Fellow at Data and Society. Yet, underneath this picture of success, there were signs that something was wrong. She had a history of strained relationships, and her marriage to her estranged husband, Venkat Raman, was falling apart. She had filed for divorce in 2020, citing harassment, and the court had granted her estranged husband visitation rights to see their son on Sundays. This is where things get complicated. Sujna was reportedly furious when the court granted Venkat Raman those visitation rights. She didn't want him to have any access to their son, and this court ruling became the catalyst for the tragedy that would follow. It appeared that it was a case of filicide, a premeditated one-hit death, a desperate act of control and revenge. Now let's look at what might have driven Sujna Seth to commit such an extreme act. While her career and public image painted her as a successful and intelligent woman, the personal circumstances she was facing seemed to have played a significant role in this tragedy. On January 7th, Venkat traveled to Bengaluru with gifts and toys for his son. However, Sujna had already taken the child to Goa, distancing him from his father. In the hotel room, investigators would later find signs that such behavior had escalated. Reports indicated that she may have attempted to smother her son with a pillow, and the presence of multiple bottles of cough syrup raised further suspicion that she might have drugged him before carrying out the fatal act. What makes this case even more chilling is a post that Sujna made 3 months prior to the murder. In October 2023, she shared a picture of her son on social media with a haunting caption, "What will happen to him?" This cryptic post raises disturbing questions. Was she planning this act long before January? Did she already begin to see her son's relationship with his father as something that needed to be stopped? It's difficult not to view this post as a premonition of the tragedy that would unfold. At the core of it, this was not a momentary lapse in judgment. It appears to have been a calculated act of revenge and control, with Sujna attempting to sever her son's connection to his father at any cost, even if it meant taking his life. This is where the story takes a truly disturbing turn. After the murder, Sujna hid the body in the suitcase and attempted to flee to Bengaluru, likely hoping to avoid suspicion and the inevitable consequences of her actions. But her story started to unravel the moment she checked out of the hotel. The hotel staff noticed the bloodstains, and the police were quick to act, uncovering the grisly truth in a matter of hours. Investigators also discovered a handwritten note in Sujna's belongings. The note, written with eyeliner, detailed her feelings of coercion, accusing both the court and her estranged husband of pressuring her to give up the custody of her son. She expressed fear for her child's safety, painting herself as the victim of a broken system, but it fails to explain the murder of her son. It's clear that Sujna's actions were driven by a sense of desperation, but her choice to take her son's life was the final and unforgivable response to her personal and legal struggles. In conclusion, the case of Sujna Seth serves as a grim reminder of how complex and unpredictable human behavior can be. Despite her career achievements and her intelligence, when faced with personal turmoil, Sujna chose an irreversible path that cost her child his life. No matter the circumstances, no rationalization can justify such an act. Her decision to kill her son and trying to conceal the crime shows how deep her desperation ran. She believed she was in control, but ultimately she lost everything, and it was the child who paid the ultimate price in a tussle between his parents. This case also highlights the importance of early intervention and support systems for individuals going through emotional or mental distress. While there is no way to undo the tragedy that occurred, perhaps we can learn from this to prevent similar outcomes in the future. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Crime Pod. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more true crime stories. I will see you next time with another case that will leave you questioning everything.